que quiere salir conmigo, la verdad.
¿En serio? ¿Estás calvo?
Entre otras cosas.
Bueno, le mentí y le dije que era súper guay. Así que de nada.
Buenos días, chicos.
Buenos días.
Tiene una cita.
Genial.
No me gusta cómo suena esa tos.
Mamá, llegaré a la graduación.
Question is, how difficult is it to play a real person going through a difficult times like Zach Sobiech?
Yeah, playing a real person is always a big responsibility because you want to do their story justice, you want to play it authentically, and I think we were all very lucky as a cast to be able to meet the Sobiech family prior to filming, or some of them, and I also got to meet Sammy Brown and Amy Adamley, who are played by Sabrina Carpenter and Madison Eisman, and we had a chance to really dive into their story, and they welcomed us with open arms and open hearts, and they were incredibly vulnerable, which took a lot of strength and courage, I'm sure, to retell those memories and readdress those emotions. But it was incredibly helpful as an actor to get a better sense of those relationship dynamics and just figure out who Zach was as a person, not being able to have a conversation with him, of course, but kind of piecing together who he was through the lens of all the people that loved him most. And
to prepare your characters, were you in contact with people with cancer?
Yeah, I actually had an opportunity to speak with a friend of mine now called Nate, and he's still fighting his battle with osteosarcoma, and it's a terrible illness, and he was also gracious enough to open up about his experience both physically and emotionally. And Laura's incredibly close with their family as well, so I feel lucky enough to have kind of adopted an entirely new family throughout this experience that helped educate me on both osteosarcoma and also the experience of what it's like to know that you have a family member who has limited time. And that's something I can personally relate to. So being able to connect with them on that was very helpful and also fortifying, for the undertaking that was playing such an inspiring young man. Big shoes to fill, Zach Sobiech.
And Neve Campbell, I think in Clouds you make an extraordinary performance in a dramatic role. Do you think that being the main star of a terror saga like Scream has limited your options to play characters in other film genres?
I don't know. I do think that there was a time in my life where the majority of the films that I was being offered were horror films, because it seems sometimes the business can look through narrow lenses and forget that you're capable of doing other things. But at that time in my life, sort of late 20s, I decided to go to England and just take a break and step outside and do theater and just be creative in my own way and not be dependent on other people giving me the work that I'm hoping for. And that was a really beautiful thing, a great decision for me. When I came back 9 years later, I was a different person. I was lucky to get Mad Men and then House of Cards. And, I've been lucky. Yes, Scream, there's probably some people who might stick me in a box, but there's been lots of people who've been open-minded. And I've been lucky to have some great roles in my life, and hopefully will continue to do so. But I was certainly grateful for this role. It's rare to get a script that's about something important, that could possibly inspire people or help people in some way. And so when those come along, they're always something you want to grab quick,
And now we are all so excited about Scream 5, and I'd like to ask you, what does make you feel motivated to return as Sydney in this new movie?
Movies are fun to make. Honestly, it'll be fun to get back with David and Courtney. Audiences love them, and I've had a lot of people asking me for years whether I would do another one. It was a challenging decision because Wes passed, and I loved him dearly. But these new directors are very enthusiastic. They are directors because of Wes, and they wrote me a beautiful letter about wanting to honor him, and that meant a great deal. And honestly, doing these movies is just like going back to summer camp. So it'll be a good time, and I'm lucky to be working right now because there's lots of people who aren't working. So.
And my last question, right now with the coronavirus health crisis, do you think that the story of Zach Sobiech could help and inspire people to not give up and have hope despite the problems?
I think that Zach's message couldn't be reintroduced to the world at a better time, and it's unfortunate that these are the circumstances, of course. I think though, Zach is such an inspiring testament to the fact that even in the face of difficult adversity, whether it's medical ailment or just an emotional trial, you have the choice to look at that problem and address it with strength and courage and hope. And at such a young age, Zach did that. In the face of a terminal diagnosis, a 17-year-old boy decided to live with hope and live with love and spread that message with his family and friends, and then ultimately to the rest of the world with his music. And I think that this is a perfect time for this movie to come out because what Zach said, you don't have to find out you're dying to start living. And that means to me that it's important to value everyday life. It's important to value the ones that you love and realize that we all have limited time, and to make the most of the time that we have with the ones that we love and enjoy each day, because you never know when will be your last.
Es un sueño disparatado y muy vívido.
Es un sueño, pero uno que puedes vivir.
Que lo dejes no es una opción. Tenéis toda una vida. ¿Qué haréis con ella?